Mrs. Danielle DeVita back with another video. I overheard someone say that marriage is overrated. A lot of women say, I like the strong silent type. Well, a lot of men like the feminine silent type. And for sure, it's going down. So a lot of times people are not getting the value. When to speak and when to be quiet is one of the most powerful. She's going to be aggressive thinking that. And as someone who's been married for 12 years, she's driven, not lazy. And this will make yourself and get on the right path. That understand that you might be doing a disservice to your daughter. If you don't help her understand vetting and proper decision making, now she's going to be a basket case later. If you don't help her understand emotional intelligence, she's going to hold on to a lot of emotional baggage. If you don't We live in a world where femininity, marriages, family, and courting is no longer valued. We live in hookup culture, situationships, and struggle love. The number one reason women struggle in long-term relationships, number one, femininity, and number two, staying in a relationship or entertaining people longer than the woman should. My name is Danielle DeVita, and I'm a relationship and femininity coach. I've been married for 12 years, and I want to help you get on your feminine journey and vet for the right man today. For more of my content, you can visit mrsdanielledevita.com, or you can go to YouTube, Instagram, or my Facebook page. Get on your feminine journey today. All right, welcome to another live. I am Danielle DeVita. So if you're on Instagram, I'll be over here, and then YouTube and Facebook, I'll be over here. So I do appreciate y'all taking time to listen to me today. If you don't know who I am a relationship and femininity coach. I've been married for 12 years, and my goal is to help you find the person that you deserve. I am not trying to get you to settle. I'm not trying to get you to lower your standards. I'm trying to have you have realistic goals and make your dating experience better. So my goal is to help women, of course, young girls, but I also help men with vetting. So I will be coming out with a book soon, so I'm trying to get that underway. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me and watching my content, because you don't have to, but you did. So I have some things we're going to talk about today. We're piggybacking off of Thursday's live, where we talked about femininity being for sale, so to speak. And when I say for sale, I mean a lot of women are saying, I'll be feminine when, and they're doing this for the high valued or the high net worth man. So if he has a certain amount of money, then she's willing to be feminine. And when I talk about feminine, I don't just mean the outer appearance, but her beauty, like not her beauty necessarily, but how she carries herself, her peace, her being cooperative, in loving, nurturing, all those kind of things that men like, right? And we're going to talk about, I have a video that I'm going to play. I thought it's a joke. The video is a joke, but it actually shed some light on a lot of things, because a lot of women believe that there's only good women around and not good men around. So I have a video for you, and then we will have a guest. So I will have a guest on that's going to talk about this, femininity being for sale, or not necessarily just women offering whatever they want to offer for sale. And it's a buyer's market, and men are the buyers. And they're saying they don't want to buy in the US because a lot of women aren't being feminine. A lot of women are playing games. It's not just men playing games. But let me play this video. If you're on Instagram, you can only hear it. You can't see it. So let me get off of the stream. I'll do that. And then I'll open up. I'll have a special guest, and then we can open up calls and things from there. Just a second here.
Anybody heard about the new store in New York City? It's called the Husband Store. And you can go there and shop for a husband. There's 6 floors in this store. You can only visit each floor one time, though. And each floor you go up, the value increases. You may choose any item from any particular floor, but you can go up a floor, but you cannot go back down. So there was a woman who went to the husband store to find herself a husband. On the first floor, the sign on the door read, "These men have jobs." That sounded good. These men have jobs. Floor 2 says these men have jobs and love kids. Floor number 3 said these men have jobs, love kids, and are extremely good looking. Wow, she thought, this is sounding pretty good, but I'm compelled to go on to the next floor. Well, she does go to the 4th floor, and the sign reads, these men have jobs, love kids, are drop dead, good looking, and they help with the housework. Oh, mercy me, she said, I can hardly stand it. Still, she said, I've got to go on. She went to the 5th floor. These men have jobs, love kids, are drop dead, gorgeous, help with the housework, and have a very strong romantic streak. But she couldn't stand it. She decided she had to just find out what was on floor number 6. Floor number 6 said, you are visitor 31,456. To this floor, there are no men on this floor. This floor exists solely as proof that women are impossible to please.
So I thought the joke was funny because, it used to be where women said, I just want a good man. And then now, we want all of these things. And it is the notion that people believe that women are good women, but there's no good men around. And they had this myth a while ago. If you grew up in the 90s, you hear, oh, well, if you're in the Black community, that the good men are either taken and all you have is those who do drugs, those who are in jail, or those who like other men. And I find it hard to believe. And I say this because at least when I dated, whether the fact that it didn't work out with those guys, they wanted a committed relationship, hence that most of them are actually married right now. So it lets you know that there are a lot of men who do want committed relationship, and there are women that play games too. It's not just men. So I have some stuff I'm going to show you guys about. A friend of mine sent me something about women playing games. So let me guys show you this just so you can take a look at it really quick. And then I'm going to try to bring, if Austin's on, I'll bring him on because I heard him. So Austin, you'll hear from him. He talked about why he's not, dating or he doesn't prefer dating in the US because women play games. And I heard him say on one of his videos that women, sometimes on dating apps, they play games. They're not interested. They just want to get clout. So I'm going to show or get men to hit on them. So a friend of mine actually showed me a clip prior to me even hearing about Austin. And then there's one where women are just kind of, they say that they're not playing games, but they kind of come across intimidating and things like that. So I'm going to show this little clip here. That was that. So I'm gonna bring Austin. If you're on Austin, you can click the StreamYard link so you can get on. I also have a number I'll put up later for those who want to know. MrsDanielleDeVita.com. If you want to know more about my content, you can go to MrsDanielleDeVita.com. You can also call in, which I'll be taking calls later, unless you are my special guest, 813-816-1813. If you want to call, or like I said, you can click the StreamYard link. If you're, I think I have the link on here. Let me put it again. If you're on Instagram, you can click the request to join the stream, or you can click, I put the phone number and the link for you guys as well, if you want to do that. Okay, so let me just give you guys a background idea in just so you understand what this is, what we're going to be talking about. Is femininity for sale in a buyer's market, right? So what we're talking about is women who are saying, I will be feminine when I will be feminine when guy has this much money or has this, but I'm actually hearing where women are with guys who have money and they still are not feminine. They still do not bring peace to the relationship, or there's still other issues going on with them, even outside of femininity. And they want a man to take them as they are, buy into that, because a man, he's putting money into the relationship as well as part of his investment, dates and things like that. And he's not getting what he wants out of a relationship. He's getting women that also are playing games, women that are insecure, women who are not sure, they're going back with their ex, or their father, their children's father. So we do have people who are playing games. It's not just men out here. There are some men who want something serious, right? So we have to understand that all women aren't serious. Like I showed you, the woman who's just there for ego boost. There's women who just like the clout. They like to have people look at them. They're not really looking for a serious relationship. Sometimes women believe that, especially if they're in their 20s, they're trying to have the hot girl summer. They're not trying to have something real. So I ran across someone who was talking about passport. I've been hearing about guys talking about getting their passport and going dating elsewhere outside the US, because women, as I mentioned, outside the US are more traditional. They're more feminine because that's the culture in which they're in. We're in the Western world, so a lot of women are less feminine. They're more about their career, more about everything else other than the traditional wife as it used to be. So we are having women saying, I'll do those things, I'll be traditional, but it's going to come at a cost. But they're not even willing to put in the work. There's this phrase where men say, what do you bring to the table? A lot of women, they don't bring anything to the table except their beauty, but they are what we would call today a basic chick. They're just manufactured. They're like every other woman. So Austin, if you are out there, if you are able to click the link and tell me what your experiences are, because some men may share in your sentiments that they've experienced these dating concerns with women in the US, that they can't get women to be serious. They can't get women to be feminine. And I've heard some women aren't taking care of themselves, like hygienic wise. They're not taking care of things that are going on in the lower region. So I've never heard of that, but I'm not dating women, so I wouldn't know. But me being around women, I'm not smelling that. But if you're a man out there and you share in these sentiments, and you share with the fact that it's hard dating in the US, and that you find that for those who have traveled, those who have gone out the country or gone to certain areas, have you found that it is easier to date outside the US? And if you are going outside the US, are you just going out the US for tricking, or are you actually going out the US to actually have a relationship with someone, build? Because I don't know, are you just going there for a little while and then coming back, or would you bring this person back? Are you looking for something serious? I'm not sure how all that works, because for those who are getting their passports, are you trying to transition to live in the area where you're going, or you're just looking for some woman just briefly, or is this something that you're trying to move towards long term? So I actually want to know, because I never thought about that. If you are trying to get your passport and date outside the US, is this short-term dating or long-term dating? Because at the end of the day, a lot of women still want something serious. How you doing, Austin Holloman? All right, so you can click the link. There's a StreamYard link. You can click to join. It'll bring you up on camera, and you can do that. So I'll ask you that question once you get on. How is the thing with the passports? Are you doing long term or short term dating when you go out of the country? But again, click the link to join on this live. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Yeah, click the link to, you know what? Hold on. Okay. And guys, if I'm not taking the phone calls now, I'm because I'm having a special guest on, and then I will accept phone calls. All right, so this is going to be an interesting live stream because I never actually spoke to someone who is really invested in dating outside of the US. So if you are someone who, shares the sentiments about dating, the dating experience in the US is brutal and it's best to go outside the US, put a comment in, let me know. And then when I do open up the calls or the StreamYard link, then you guys can talk about it. But if you haven't heard of Austin Holloman, he really is on YouTube letting people know, hey, if you're a guy, get your passport. You'll see you'll have better dating experiences outside the US where women are more traditional, women are more serious about dating. So make sure click the StreamYard link, Austin. Is femininity for sale in a buyer's market? And the buyers are the men, because a lot of women believe that they get to choose. It's really men choosing you. Men are the gatekeeper to marriage. They're the one who's asking. Today, we do have women asking. But if you're on this channel, you're traditional, hopefully, or you want to be traditional. So you want the man to ask. So let me... How you doing, Austin?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm doing well, Thank you for taking the time to come on to my stream.
Absolutely.
So if you can let everyone know a little bit about, who you are and what your sentiments are.
I'm Austin Holloman. I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I am a United States refugee currently. And I am here to encourage other men to become refugees because it's that bad out here. So you need to get your passport.
Okay, and now you say it's that bad. So tell me about it. What's bad?
There's an extreme lack of substance. There's a flake rate epidemic. Flaking is ridiculous in the United States, and I don't do well with flakes. And there's a lot of bad hygiene too.
Yes, I never heard that before, but apparently, you just more recently, I'm hearing about men saying that some women are not taking care of themselves, and they have a smell. So, is this a lot of women or just a few women? A lot?
It's a lot. It's
Okay.
a lot.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you looked at my channel. I talk a lot about femininity. Is that a big issue? I know when you did a list, and I think it was number 4 on your list. So I know it wasn't the biggest thing on your list, opposed to people playing games. But is that a big issue in the U.S., femininity, opposed to those outside of America?
Yeah, femininity is a huge issue.
Okay. Now, what's your version of femininity? What are the things that you're running into?
Well, they like to call you bro. I'm not bros with females. That is a no-no. That's a huge turn off. That's a friend zone word. But see, there's some chicks that I'm definitely not. Well, I was definitely not in their friend zone, and yeah, they still call me bro. I'm like, we just don't need to.
Okay, so they have a little bit masculine traits, is what you're saying, and how they, because that sounds like something a guy would say to another guy, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they have a lot of masculine traits. Like they call you bro. They also behave like I don't know. They're very they want to be in charge a lot, and you don't want a man that you can be in charge of. I'm pretty sure that no woman actually wants a man that is following behind her tail.
No, she won't respect that guy. Even
Yeah,
if she
no.
was, trying to take charge, women don't respect the guy that they're leading. Um, so what you mentioned about women playing games, and I thought I heard you say something about on dating sites where they're not really looking for a relationship. It's just an ego boost.
Yeah, dating apps are a circus, actually. And for me, they're a circus. But the entire United States, there's games, but dating apps are just out of the question. Um, yeah, they're a circus. They're there just for validation. They'll match with you and send you one message, and then you'll never hear from them again.
Wow. Did you see that post I put up about a guy who sent me his Bumble?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I'm gonna put it up. I put it up earlier when we started. I just want you to see this and tell me if you've experienced this. Hopefully it doesn't um, mess us up. Can you see my screen?
I can't see a screen. I can see you.
Okay. I don't know if you can. Let me see if you can see it. I'll put it down if you can. Can you see this?
hmm And whose is that?
It's just someone who showed me profiles on a dating site.
Hmm. See, I haven't. Well, I haven't seen one that intense, but mm,
Yeah. So a lot of women are saying they need an ego boost. I think this guy said that he had other people that were actually married when you go to their Instagram page, but they were on dating sites. And I guess it's for ego boost. I guess it's the whole like Aisha Curry where she's married but wants attention to see if she still got it. So yeah, but we're not going to go into that. But they actually use the exact same word you use. Dating apps are a circus, and
they
it's
did.
people who are playing games. Yeah, they actually
Oh, I
use
didn't know
that
that.
word, the circus, and they find it hard. And I think this is a pretty cool gentleman. So I I was actually surprised he ran into a lot of that because that last post I just showed you, women are saying they're wanting something serious, but you're saying a lot of women are flaking.
They don't know what they want,
Okay.
and I didn't know what I wanted either for a while because I couldn't get any experience.
Oh wow. So tell me a little bit more, or tell the audience a little bit more about what you mean by flaking. What are some of your experiences?
Now, I'm not saying when I say couldn't get experience, I wasn't saying I'm inexperienced. I have a lot of experience with not with that, but I come back to that. Like I said, the dating apps is a circus. You got that, but then there's a lot of women that will that have tried to see when they say, "Oh, I got to get to know you for so many weeks." I just don't even respond because I figure that's just BS. So they'll talk to you. I've had women talk to me for 2, 3, 4 weeks through text, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I'm in Dallas, and that's where I live." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm about to be free in such and such time. We should meet up. I've never met you." And then they're like, "Oh, well, I don't know. You kind of intimidate me." Oh, so what you're not, so you're just not gonna see me at all? I mean, what kind of logic is that? And so just don't even text me anymore then, because I'm not trying to be a pen pal. You have that kind of stuff, or you just have just people that are set up. It's just a flake. People will set up dates and you never hear from them again. I've had
Mm.
women leave notes in my car. Two up. Well, the second one didn't flake, but the first one, she left a note in my car, and then I couldn't get her on the phone. She responds to text every 5 hours, and then you couldn't set anything up with her through text because she's taking so long to respond. I'm like, why did you leave a note on my car? I thought that was the highest level of interest. But apparently, it was just a validation test, I guess.
Wow. I wonder if women are looking at listening to the wrong like coaches or people talking
Oh yeah.
about relationships, and they're just getting crazy information. Because I remember one of the things that a lot of women start doing that was, I feel like it's still a game. It's still a game. The whole 90-day rule thing. I understand, but I understand what the original intent was, to have women, slow down. But a lot of women are they're telling the guy, we're waiting 90 days. They play the game and they learn nothing in those 90 days. And then day 91, everything's supposed to be like perfect. But so yeah, a lot. Apparently, what you're saying, a lot of women are playing games. They really don't want anything, but they say there's not men out there. But you're saying you want something. You want to be beyond just one date.
Well, actually, I don't know what I want to do with them because they flake. I know that I was physically attracted to them, but I don't know where I want to go with them because you don't hear from them again. Now,
But
that's
beyond
not
them,
every chick.
what's your original intent? Just the idea of dating. What is your original intent? Not with one person specifically, but in general.
Well, like I was saying before, it's kind of hard because when I talk to so-called friends, they say, "Oh, do you even know what you want?" That's why I call them so-called friends, because it's not really supportive. They say, "Oh, do you know what you want?" And I'm like, "How do you know what you want if you can't experience anything?" So, yeah, my intent was, hey, let's talk, let's meet or whatever. Usually the chicks that go through with it are the ones I don't want. So yeah, I didn't know what I wanted until I went to Brazil and I was actually able to deal with women that showed up. Like the flake rate, I don't think I've ever been flaked on in Brazil. And yeah, never. And it was a high success rate. So at one point I thought I liked spicy attitude chicks. That's when I was here. That wasn't debunked because I didn't get to get any attitude, or it was too much attitude and I did get it. I went to Brazil. I dated this chick for like 3 or 4 months. And then I was like, yeah, I don't think I want that anymore. But I was able to learn that because I was able to experience that. So I think I'd probably kill my mental health if I stayed here.
So are you thinking of like moving to Brazil?
Oh, I'll be out of here by January.
Okay, so that's going to be like your new residence in Brazil. Okay. So now, just quick question. I know you can't speak for everyone, but for all the guys who are looking to go and get their passports or wherever they're going, if they're going to go there for just, I don't know, a week or two, how are they going to have this long-term relationship? Or are these guys who are looking to actually, if they find someone there, they're going to stay put in that particular area? How is dating outside the U.S. going to work as long-term? Do you know?
Well, you have to go a week or two the first time to get exposed, to be enlightened, to see the light. But we in my Facebook group, we actually encourage. Well, I have some people that teach men how to make money overseas doing things like software engineering. But hey, that's up to you. And most of these people that watch myself, they're not going to take the initiative, and I know that. But there's a good few hundred people that have, not a few hundred that have already, but there's tons of people that have already. The thing that they could do is relocate. I mean, you can risk it and bring her back here. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that, but like I got a chick that is I met in Rio back in February, and she's on the East Coast right now, and I think I'm about to have to fire her. Well, I can't get rid of her. I've already tried to, but I mean, the Americanization is happening.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Actually, someone in the comments have a question for you. They said that they claim that you're looking for something real, for substance, but they're not hearing any substance from you, just complaints. And I'm not sure what, unless he's being intimate with a lot of women, how would you know? I guess about the hygiene issue. Is it because you just smell it close up to them, or is it something that you only when you're intimate?
There's been times, yeah, that chicks have been fully dressed and I can smell it, but I mean, just because I say that there are a lot of women that stink doesn't mean I slept with them. That means there was a lot of women I didn't sleep with.
Okay. So you just smelt them just being close to them. Okay, so I think, let me go back to what they're originally asking. I think I touched on this. when I was asking, what's your intent? Are you
Mhm.
looking for a relationship? Just in general. I know you don't know what you want with the exact person that you encounter, but your mind frame, are you looking for a committed relationship and then you just can't get what you want from that exact person that you interact with at the time? Or you're still not sure what you want, whether it's short term, long term?
Well, I have about 80% of what I want now that I've been to Brazil twice this year. Before I went to Brazil, I think I might have had 30% of knowledge on, or I might have been 30% aware of what I wanted out of a woman. But now that I've been able to date around with some quality women that didn't flake, I know what I want. But I mean, doing this, I'm about to travel around the world. So I tell anybody I meet now, I'm not about to settle down yet because my subscribers want to see everything. So I just tell them I'm about to be around the world. And you can stick around or not. I don't lie to anybody. I don't waste time, anybody's time. So they know.
Okay.
So
So what
it's
is it?
gonna be by the time I'm 30. I'm not gonna be wanting to have kids or get married until I'm about 30.
Oh,
But
okay. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay. All right. So yeah, very mature probably for a lot of your counterparts that
Mhm.
you're around, because a lot of young men aren't traveling as much with that. So all right. So you said now that you've been to Brazil, you know a lot more of what you want in a woman. Just a
Mhm.
list. Do you have a rundown of what you would like to see in a woman at this stage in your life?
Well, I was raised by a traditional mother. She's not traditional anymore so much, but I know I want somebody with traditional values that can cook and clean, has good pH, that inspires me, that is supportive of me. Like for example, I had a chick that was. I've had some chicks that have gave me a lot of ideas. Some chicks that complimented me. All that stuff really, really matters. And a lot of American women lack the effort to just, hey, how are you doing? I thought about you. That means a lot. So that's why I said I'd never look in the United States with my wife because I probably had one chick do that. But
Oh,
those are a few things.
okay. And it's funny that you said that because I hear a lot about, or I speak a lot about affirmations.
Hmm.
I think as women, we should provide affirmations for not just our friends, not just for children and things like that, not just for ourselves. Because a lot of times when we hear affirmations, it's supposed to be like self affirmations, but for the man that you're with. And a lot of women feel like, well, why do I have to provide a cookie? Why do I have to show appreciation? And this is the man that you say you like, you
That's
know?
crazy.
So why not say, great job, or I was thinking about you, or
Yeah.
you're this or you're that, something positive to lift people up. So I've actually heard that a lot. Men don't get a lot of affirmations, even for the
No,
woman that they're even married to. They don't get enough
no,
affirmations.
no.
So, hmm.
When I was in Brazil, I did. I got a lot of that. That's why I'll never be the same again.
Wow. So what did those affirmations sound like for the women in Brazil?
Even if I mean they're just complimenting how I look for the day. I just thought about you. You're such a man. Stuff like that. See, I think in the United States it's the reverse. Either they say nothing or they say stuff to emasculate you.
Mm, wow. So now have you, no, this is prior to going out of the country. Have you dated outside of Dallas?
Hmm.
And then it's the same wherever.
Well, dating in the United States, there's a catch with every nobody's going to be 100% of what you want. But in the United States, it's too much of a catch. Like in Brazil, I think it was like 10% or something. 20% of her would be thrown off that I didn't like. Seems like in the United States, it's gonna be like 40 or 50% of the things that are about her is just like, okay, yeah, no. Like I had a chick in Philly I was dealing with a couple of years ago, and she was like 70%. But I mean, there was just a few other things. I probably shouldn't say it here, but yeah, it was a couple other things. Yeah, she was a little too experienced.
Okay. Well, now I like to ask you this. I know you said a lot of women flake.
Hmm.
And is it usually, or play games? Is it usually in the first few weeks, first
No, it's
month, 2 months, 3 months? How far is it gone before you kind of realize this is a dud?
No, we're talking about instantly. Like I'm talking about the majority, and me and a few other creators talked about this. The majority of the women you probably don't realize until you get out of the United States, but the majority of the women you meet in the United States, it goes nowhere, like at all. Like I've had chicks that I've met out, they kissed me, and it was super interest. It seemed like never hear from them again.
Mm.
Goes nowhere.
Where are these women? Where are the women that you encounter? Where are you, like in the club, just out in
I've met women everywhere: sidewalk, the park, grocery store, the club, bar, restaurant, gym, everywhere. It's the same
and
thing.
a lot of them, it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I've never heard that. If there's some people in the comments or on Instagram, I see you guys on Instagram. Hello. If there are some people there, let me know. Is anyone else experiencing this? Because a lot of times men do not let, of course, we women don't know a lot of things that you all go through. You guys are going to share it probably with other men. And now social media is on the rise. So you guys get to express what's happening in the dating world. So a lot of us are clueless to a lot of the games that women play. As a woman, I do know that women play games, but I actually didn't know that it was this serious, because as women, all we hear is men are playing games and we want something serious. And you're saying you're not getting that same vibe. You see a lot of women who do not want anything serious. Do you think social media is
Well,
playing
no,
into this?
they don't want anything at all. They don't want any. I don't know if they don't. It's not a hookup buddy. It's not a friend. It's nothing. It's useless. I had somebody in my Facebook group. We were talking about this earlier. Well, yesterday, and he's like his brother. And I've had this happen numerous times, where a chick will tell her friend that she's interested in you, so you come to meet her, and when you get there, it's almost like you're some sort of pedophile or something. Like, get away from me. And I'm like, I was invited over here because somebody told me that you. It's annoying just thinking about it. So yeah, that's why I just gave up. I'm like, yeah, you might experience that somewhere else, but the rate is a lot lower. That's all. It's not perfect in Brazil, but it is almost perfect.
Now, the women that you were dating in the US, are they around the same age as the women in Brazil when you have these same interactions?
Well, I date women of all ages. I've usually had better luck with women over 30 years old, but that's because they're over 30 years old. But women in my age bracket in the United States is a no-go. Brazil is, yeah, it's more realistic, but the games are ridiculous. And I guess it's maybe because they're young and they might be a little more insecure, so they need some sort of validation, so they have to play with you. I'm just not the one to play with.
Yeah, well, I you mentioned that you were 23, so I assume if a lot of the women that were flaking are in their 20s, and I know as women they don't like to be serious. They like to say they're serious, but they're not really trying to be serious in their 20s. So I can imagine women in their 20s playing games. I can imagine that. But you saying you're taught to women in their 30s, but do they have any, like, I guess when they see your age, do they pull back or are they okay?
They're
Because you
usually
seem
okay.
age.
Thank you. Yeah, they're usually okay. I mean, I don't have a problem, but they're a lot older. I mean, we're not going to get married. I mean, they're just like a cougar. So that's what they treat it as. Well, some of them want to be serious, but I mean, they're a lot older than me, and I want kids and all that, and I'm not going to settle for no kids if your body doesn't allow it by the time I'm ready. And most older women want me to marry them in like 2 weeks. Like they rush it a lot, and that's you waited till you were too old to get married, not me. You're not about to rush me.
Okay. So you prefer dating, or it sounds like the women over 30 are more serious, but you prefer
Yeah,
dating people in your age. They're just not mature enough. or they play too many games. Is that correct?
Yeah, they play a lot of games, but yeah, but my generation is over with. I mean, that's what I hear most of the bros in my gen. I don't hear older women call me bro, but the younger women, I know. I feel bad for my younger brother,
And how old is your younger brother?
13.
Oh, okay. Is he already trying to date girls in his school?
He won't tell me much, but I mean, I just know if my generation is like that, I don't see the younger generation. I think the younger generation would be even worse.
Do you think social media has played into how women behave?
Social media's in Brazil too.
Yeah,
Don't have a problem there.
that's true. I will say the Western world, and when I say Western, I don't mean just the United States. I
Mm-hmm.
mean Europe and all those areas as well. Um, Feminism has kind of taken over. Views about being traditional is different than in other countries where there's still it's a tight culture, very traditional, especially how men and women are and interact. Do you think that because at least the social media for celebrities in the US is a little bit different, do you think that that plays a role? How the US celebrities versus maybe what they're seeing in their country?
The U.S. celebrities versus what they're seeing in their country. What do you mean what they're seeing in their country?
Well, I've
You talking
heard that
about?
a lot of other countries are censored a little bit. I don't know about Europe and stuff, but other countries are censored in what they can and cannot see. And then I understand that you can see Cardi B anywhere. I get that. But a lot of the celebrities where we're seeing these types of behaviors, the boss bay, because you mentioned about women being controlling, a lot of masculine traits. These are celebrities here in the Western
Mm-hmm.
world. So if I'm in the West, I'm going to see different celebrities than someone who's in Latin America or who's in Africa. Do you think that plays a role, or not social media as much, but just the culture itself?
It possibly could, but I mean, it's an economical thing too. Like women in Nigeria are supposed to just turn into American women, from what I've heard. But Nigeria also has one of the fastest growing economies, I think, in Africa. So anytime the economy grows and you don't have such a wealth gap, and women become a little more empowered, that's what happens. But I think it's a combination of social. I'm not gonna say social media doesn't play a part, but I'm just saying it's not the only thing. I say it's social media and feminism and the emasculation and indoctrination of men.
That's true. Now, in my opinion, I think also it has to do with how people grow up, their households. Because when people ask, why am I the way I am? I'll say, because my household was traditional, what I saw growing up. I met my husband at 21. So when you were saying, um, it doesn't, the age didn't matter because some people in their 30s were flaking with you. And as it's coming here, Kit, it depends on who and what you're looking for. You can find who wants to be serious in all age groups. That's true, because I just used myself as an example. And my husband, he was the same age, 21. So he was looking for something serious. So I'm not saying all people in their 20s are not looking for something serious, but I will say we do live in a culture where people are told, at least for what I know, girls in their 20s are told, have your hot girl summer before it's time, or go and get your degree, go and do what you have to do, have your fun. The whole Lori Harvey, how she's behaving in her 20s. She's having her fun. She's not trying to settle down with Michael B. Jordan, and that's how a lot of women are seeing it. But I think the households have a lot to do with it. I don't think the households today are as traditional as they used to be. I don't think there's a lot of male figures in the household telling women how they should be, how they should behave. And I am hearing a lot of women are told to date multiple people at once. So they could be going on 3 dates in 1 week. And it's like, but you're not trying to look for something serious. You're just trying to get an ego boost of how many people you can date, how many dinners you can get, and how much money someone can spend on you. At least that's my opinion. But it sounds to me we just live in a culture where people just want an ego boost. They're not really
Oh
looking
yeah.
for anything.
Oh yeah.
Um, let me see here. I thought I had another thing I was going to put up here. Okay, so if you, for the men who are listening, if you could tell the men, because some men may say, well, no, I found someone in the US. Maybe it's just who you're with, kind of like what Kit was saying. Maybe it's just where you are, the zip code, um, the age bracket, the location where you're meeting them. What would you say to them?
I could halfway agree. I'd say that the location, I mean, Dallas for me has been a horrible, it's been a validation cesspool. Now, when I go to Austin, Texas, it's better, but I've been exposed to Rio, so I've never come back here
When did you say you're looking to be out the US again?
before January. By January,
Okay. And so you mentioned that you kind of travel before you settle down. Where do you plan on going besides? Okay, you mentioned Brazil. You mentioned Rio. Is there any other places that you're going to kind of travel and let your fans know about the dating in different areas besides those two places?
yeah, I'm going to three more countries before the year is up, and then I'll be back in Brazil in February, and then I'm gonna go to probably four or five more countries next year. So I'm pretty
Um,
much gonna go everywhere.
have you dated outside of the Black community?
I've dated everybody. That's why my videos are about American women and not American Black women. And I say that, and then I get Black women in comments saying you're targeting Black women. The comment that I don't ever bring up race in my videos.
And the reason why I say that is the reason why I ask is because I do believe that this modern society is all women. I think that it kind of transcends race, and a lot of people are saying actually vice versa. A lot of women are saying they don't want to date Black men, similar to kind of like some of the things you're saying. And I said it has nothing to do with race because they can have the same issues no matter who they're with. So I ask because it shows that it's not just a Black woman issue, because I know there's some men that may think that it's
Mm-hmm.
Americans
Mm-hmm.
or just
Oh, it's
modern.
all of them.
I'll say modern women because there's probably women in other countries that could have the same mentality, that think the same way a lot of these women do. All the women that you dated, no matter what race, what age group, do they have this same type of look, or do they all look different? When I say the same look, I mean they just have this manufactured look, or
I don't do
all the women
makeup.
different personalities, different attitudes, different mindsets?
I've dated pretty much all throughout the options. I don't do makeup. I mean, I'm not telling you not to wear makeup, but you talking about manufactured, like she has on a bunch of makeup. No, I don't do that. No, that's too much. But I've dated all different economic classes of women, uh, and I will say the more money they have, it's not that they get worse, but it seems like they're a lot more uncertain. They're all uncertain. I don't know, but it's not really that
More
much different.
entitled, is that the word you're looking for? More entitled?
Uh, I haven't really ran too much into that from them. I've actually had the woman with no money be more entitled.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. Well, I didn't know this was going on in the dating world, but I've been married for 12 years, so I haven't,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I'm not out in the dating scene right now because I know it's brutal. But for women who are saying, I will, all the things that you want in a woman, I'm willing to do this if you have X amount of money. If you can show me that you're a provider, if you can show me that you're masculine, if you can do this, then I'll be all the things that you want me to be. What do you say to those women?
Then I'll just use my passport because that doesn't make sense. Why is there a price tag on you behaving right? Well, I mean, I get it. I get it. I mean, you don't be somebody that makes 30 grand a year or whatever, but I mean, that's conditional femininity. They turn it on and off.
Yeah. No, okay. So one last thing before before you head out, I heard you said that it did not matter how much money you made, how much you put yourself together, because you worked on yourself for some time and it didn't change your prospects. Can you just elaborate on that?
So I would actually say when I had less money, I had a lot less games. So when I was still actually when that bed was an air mattress, yeah, I had easy. I had it was a lot easier uh, dealing with women, and I guess because whenever you do build yourself up, I guess they don't think that they're much. They don't match up to that, and they just sabotage the whole thing playing games. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, the people on YouTube or people you talk to, they make it seem like you have to go on this endless journey of self improvement. Okay, I'm like 200 pounds now. I was 140 pounds when I first realized the problem. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get myself together. I think I was making like $1,500 a week, and then I tripled that at one point. And then I mean, my charisma is that it's not that I'm some weirdo. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm still not really seeing a result. And then you have the indoctrinated men that you may ask, and they'll say you need to go to therapy or you need to work. Now I'm crazy or something. I know going to therapy doesn't make you crazy, but now what it sounds like is, oh, well, you just some lunatic and you don't know what's wrong with you. I'm like, I don't think something is wrong to that point. Went to a whole nother country, changed my environment, totally different result. So it's just the culture. It can't be me because and the women over there appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, because I understand, because there's actually some women that actually are pretty decent women. They've improved, they've worked on themselves, they are feminine, they are fit, what you're hearing a lot of men saying. They're doing all the things, but the prospects are low, um, given for what they want. And you're right, it may have to be location. You got to change your location. And I don't fault anyone for wanting to change their location. You do what you got to do. You got to get out the zip code, get out of the area, the area that you're in, the country, do whatever you have to do. And it seems like it's working for you when you travel. So then, yeah, obviously it's the culture. I actually have been hearing a lot of men talk about American women are not doing or not as traditional. I think a lot of men have stayed traditional over the years, even though a lot of things have changed, but a lot of women have changed their viewpoint on what it is to have a traditional family. So I get it.
Yeah, well, actually, any form of tradition is now called slavery by women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've,
I'm glad you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I've talked about that. Cooking for your man, cleaning is
It's
not
slavery.
slavery. In fact,
Yeah.
I find if it's a black woman that says it, I actually find it as an insult, given
Hmm.
our history,
Hmm.
that you'd call that slavery. I don't think any woman should say it, but I find it more of an insult given our background. But if it's someone you say you like, I think reciprocity is key. I think a lot of women watched a lot of TV and they think the Lux life is the life they should have, when every person they meet is not going to be six figures. Every person they meet is not going to give them that Lux lifestyle, right? They want to just be a housewife. I think they watch too much Housewives of Atlanta and stuff like that. But everyone thinks that they are a monolith. Everyone thinks that they're unique and they're different and they deserve this certain level of care, but they're not putting in the work. And I know you said that you hear a lot of people say putting in the work, but I mean putting in the work on who you are. Because a lot of women aren't. I find as a woman, we don't like to take accountability.
Mm-mm.
And there are some things that we are doing wrong, in which why our dating experiences as women do not improve. So then sometimes they won't encounter people like you. I can say for
Mhm.
myself, I think I said it in the beginning, the people that I've dated that did not work, that it did not work out, they are married. So they weren't for me, but they're married. So they wanted something serious, they wanted something real. It just didn't work out. And a lot of women aren't understanding, you're in relationships longer than you should be, and you're missing out on
Mhm.
your husband. you're with the thug or the crazy guy or the guy that's not doing nothing, and you complain about guys when there's guys around wanting someone that doesn't flake.
Well, that's just like the don't do wife duties at girlfriend status. That is, I cannot believe that's like a real thing. Like, and I asked the chicks in Brazil, like, what do you think? They think it's stupid. Like that's like going into a job and wanting a promotion without even showing that you're worthy enough for a promotion. Becoming a wife is a promotion. That's a promotion. So you basically, she's just saying, just sign on the dotted line. You don't know what you're gonna get, but just sign here and marry me for the rest. I actually had a woman I talked about women not cooking, and she's like, yeah, we don't do that until we get a ring. I have it on my TikTok. She said we're not going to do that. So you want a ring? I made a statement. I said American women want a ring for cooking, and foreign women get a ring for cooking. It's a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it on my last live stream. Now, I don't think that women should be washing clothes and cooking every day for a guy who's just their boyfriend. I mean, if you guys are, I guess they're living together, that's however they want to do that. But I don't see anything wrong with doing those things for a guy at some point. But it depends on the guy, because some guys are looking for a mom. They are. But I think it has to do with figuring out what this guy wants. He may want to just see that you care. But women don't mind taking a man's money, which that's a provider status, which is something that husbands do. I share in this sentiments that I don't even think men should pay for, women's, pay, cover a woman's rent, buy her, get her nails and stuff done when they're dating. I just don't think that, because it's a different status. That's what your daddy can do, but not your boyfriend. But a lot of men don't mind doing those things.
I don't mind.
Yeah, a lot of men don't mind. I never did. I'll cover my own rent, because that's a different level. It's a different status. I do think there are such thing as benefits, husband benefits, wife benefits, but there are things you can't do for that. So I don't know. About the culture today. I do think feminism in America has changed people's views about wanting to care for their man, whether it's cooking, cleaning, whether it's just any level of reciprocity, any level. And I don't think chivalry is dead, but I think there's a shift in chivalry because of women and their views about interacting with men, and whatever you can do, I can do better. It's a competitiveness. I do believe that. I do believe that there's a competition in society. So no one's trying to be a companion. They're trying to have a someone they can compete with.
Every modern woman I've ran into is jealous when I have some sort of success. It kills me. But they're trying to reverse. Feminism is no longer about being equal. And now they've got all the equalness. There's nothing in the Constitution that doesn't apply to both genders. But now they're trying to reverse the roles by emasculating men. So I mean, start walking on the outside of the street.
Really, they're doing that?
No, I'm just recommending that. If they want to be men, they should start walking on the outside of the street.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody, walks up to you and slaps you on the behind, don't call me. Go buy a gun. But that's a gender role. But since you want to be a man, handle it yourself.
Yeah, I hear a lot of men say, a lot of women saying they're not feeling protected. And that is something that if you have a man, if you have a husband, he's going to protect you. But if you're going to compete with the man, then you're taking away his role to do that. But that means you have a role. We all have roles, at least for those who are traditional, at least for those people. So,
well, gender roles are oppression now.
Gender roles are what?
Oppression. If you bring up gender roles, it's somehow oppressing them and they're slaves for that.
Yeah.
They don't say that in Brazil.
So do you kind of talk to the women in Brazil and the other places you go about some of these issues? And what do they say?
Well, they just think it's crazy. I mean, they usually have raised eyebrows to it because it doesn't really make much sense.
The households, do you know if a lot of them grew up with both parents?
Most of them, and that's why uh, most of them have two-parent households. Yeah.
And do you think that that kind of plays a role in America? Because a lot of the household
Mhm.
in America, even for non-blacks, a lot of the households are mothers.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that does play a role, a huge role.
And for those in the comments who are concerned with, well, that's the man's fault that the women are in the home. I say,
No,
I say women have a lot to do with that. You have the ability to, decide who you sleep with, who you have children with.
there's a lot of forms of birth control too.
Yes, there's like over 100 birth control for women. So you have the option to plan ahead your parenthood. A lot of people keep talking about Planned Parenthood, but you have all the options to plan ahead of time before it gets to, you know, ready to get rid of a kid.
Hmm.
So we can't blame this all on men. You have to share in that responsibility and share in the poor decisions. All right. Well, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Uh, no, not that I could think of.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you deciding to come on last minute because someone was like, "Do Austin, he talks about passports and not wanting to deal with American women." I was like, "Hey, let me take a look." So, I saw that you kind of shared in some of those sentiments about finding traditional women outside the US. So that's why I wanted to have you on and see what you thought because I actually never heard about this. I think there's a
Really?
call. Let me see if they have a question for you real quick. Do you mind staying on for a second?
Actually,
Finding traditional. Hello. Can you hear?
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Do you have a question for
Okay.
Austin?
Miss Austin, what is it like? What is it like in Brazil versus America? If you don't mind me asking.
uh, it's everything is the complete opposite. I mean, you be a little. If you could be a little more detailed, I can give you some more. But everything is the complete opposite.
Okay. So, have you ever been to Africa before? If you don't mind me asking.
No, but it is on the list.
Oh, huh?
Huh?
I didn't hear you.
I said no, but it is on the list.
Okay, okay. So, do you mind if I make a comment, Miss Davita?
Yeah, go ahead. Is this Michael from last time?
Yes, this is him. This
How
is
you doing,
Michael. Yes,
Michael? Yeah. So
I'm
what question
doing.
you have?
I'm doing good.
Good.
My comment is that ever since I've turned 30 in this August, I've decided to get married. Um, One of the reasons I've decided to get married is because I see myself as not the type of dude that likes to play around or date. I'm not. So my thing is that being married, having a traditional marriage is very important. Being able to take care of a wife and a family and provide for her and do whatever it takes to make her happy is in God's plan for me and it's God's plan originally in the beginning. Philip Scott has said this before. He said that if you get out of America, now I've never been out of America, but when I start working and start making some money, I do plan on traveling to different countries. But he said that when you get out of America, there's a strong demonic presence that you will be free from. I think that the spirit of Jezebel or any type of demonic spirit has attached to America. But that there's my comment, and I wanted to see what you thought, Mr. Vita, and you also, Mr. Austin. What do you think about America spirit of the demonic spirit that Phyllis Scott talks about? And I'll let you go.
Now for me, yes. Whenever I've traveled outside of America, I feel free. I do feel free from microaggressions, racism, all types of things. At least for me, I felt that.
Right.
So I don't know if that's the same for Austin. I've heard a lot of people that said that when they leave America, they feel free. They feel free from all
Some
the
people have
issues.
left America and don't come
Yeah.
back. But I'm gonna let you continue.
Yeah, from free from the problems. I'm even, my husband and I are looking to have some other areas outside of the US that we can kind of be not full time, but just for some parts of the year. So I don't know. What are your thoughts
Like
about
when you
that,
want to
Austin?
go on vacation.
Yes, yeah, for vacation. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Austin?
Well, since I've left the United States, I've been at peace.
You said since you live outside the United States?
Since I've been outside the United States, I've been at ultimate peace. Even coming back, I mean, it's not as strong as it was when I was there, but that makes sense what he's saying because I have been at peace. I mean, I don't get into spirits and all that, but it is more. I'm more at peace.
So let me ask you this one last question, Mr. Austin, and I'll get out both of you here. Do you plan on moving to Brazil when you're done with your business in America?
Oh yeah, before January or before or by January.
I mean, like when you're done with America, will you move to Brazil or any other country for good?
I'll probably stay in Brazil, for a little bit, but I'm gonna keep jumping around to see, if that's where I really want. But so far, I think that's what I want is Brazil.
Okay. Well, if you like Brazilian women, I'd say you stay in Brazil. But if you like African women, I think you should go to Africa. And I think you'll find that Africa is a very beautiful continent. Because I do have an African friend, and I have been listening to Phyllis Scott for years. So I think you should try Africa next. But that's just my suggestion, and I'm gonna get out your hair. Have a lovely night.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
No problem.
Okay. So yeah. Now one last question before I let you go. Are you gonna have dual citizenship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna renounce my citizenship.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that you've taken the time to come on, listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
I think a few people had questions and comments. So I appreciate you explaining, what you're looking to do. And again, for those who are listening, get your passports. I agree. Things are different in other countries. Traditional, how people treat you, a lot of things. So, all right. Thank you, Austin.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. You take care.
You too.
All right, y'all. So I appreciate you guys coming on. I know it's been a little bit over an hour. So we're going to end talking about is femininity up for sale? Because I think I pretty much drove, what I'm trying to say home, that a lot of women are saying, I'll do this when this. And I think Austin hit the nail on. Why wait? Right? You need to do the things that you need to do if you are trying to be a wife. If you're trying to be in a serious relationship, why not do these things now? Why wait? But I did not know there was a lot of women that are playing games. We hear men playing games, but there are a lot of women playing games. And it's good to know. So, but I do recommend getting your passport. So I have no ill feeling about people doing that. Leaving the country has been a big thing that I'm glad that I do. If you're a woman, I would recommend that if you're having some of the same issues, try leaving the country as well. All right. So I will see you all next week. We'll have a different topic, on Thursday, and we'll have a different topic from there. So I'll let you guys go. And if you guys had any questions or wanted to call, we'll pick back up next time. All right. Y'all, thanks for tuning in. Take care. Mrs. Danielle DeVita back with another video. I overheard someone say that marriage is overrated. A lot of women say, I like the strong silent type. Well, a lot of men like the feminine silent type. And for sure, it's going down. So a lot of times people are not getting the value. When to speak and when to be quiet is one of the most powerful. She's going to be aggressive thinking that. And as someone who's been married for 12 years, she's driven, not lazy. And this will make yourself and get on the right path. That understand that you might be doing a disservice to your daughter. If you don't help her understand vetting and proper decision making, now she's going to be a basket case later. If you don't help her understand emotional intelligence, she's going to hold on to a lot of emotional baggage. If you don't. We live in a world where femininity, marriages, family, and courting is no longer valued. We live in hookup culture, situationships, and struggle love. The number one reason women struggle in long-term relationships, number one, femininity, and number two, staying in a relationship or entertaining people longer than the woman should. My name is Danielle DeVita, and I'm a relationship and femininity coach. I've been married for 12 years, and I want to help you get on your feminine journey and vet for the right man today. For more of my content, you can visit MrsDanielleDeVita.com, or you can go to YouTube, Instagram, or my Facebook page. Get on your feminine journey today.